By the banks of the River Corrib in Galway, we're here for the Higher Education Electric Ireland Fresher Division 1 hurling final in Dangan. And looking from left to right, we have DCU out there and we have UL. They've got their tops on at the minute, so we can't see the numbers just yet, or maybe just on a few of them. And we have the referee out in the middle. That is Shane Guinan from Offaly, one of the top referees out there for a top game. This is an All-Ireland final. It's the freshers, it's the future, it's the best young players that are coming through. In a couple of years' time, a lot of these guys will be playing in Fitzgibbon Cup finals and no doubt winning them as well. This is where they all started, and this is where a lot of the brilliant young talent is. So we're looking forward to a terrific match here tonight, and it's great to be able to bring it to you on a live stream on Facebook and on YouTube, thanks to the Higher Education GEA executive for getting us here to do this game. And it's a beautiful clear evening, a little bit cool as you might expect, but apart from that it's perfect. There's a good surface out there. We've been out in it and it looks pretty good, it feels pretty good, and I know there's been a lot of rain around the rest of the country, and I don't want to tempt things, but it's been absolutely beautiful here the last few hours. And we also have Joe McKeown with us, and Joe knows all about the Fresher hurling scene. You were managing GMIT there as well and still are. Tell me about this game tonight and this. Well, let's talk about the occasion first. You've obviously had teams in this particular ground. It's one of the best and one of the most university-like grounds, isn't it?
Yeah, in fairness, NUIG, they always keep the surface here excellent, and I suppose the floodlights are, a massive attraction around here and a massive boost to have. There's not too many floodlit pitches around Galway in particular, so it's a wonderful facility to have. And look, as you said, the surface is in top nick. It's a great evening for hurling. Two good sides out there, with a big mix of inter-county players on one side and maybe not so many on the other. But it's, as I said, conditions are excellent, so it makes for a great evening's hurling.
Let's get into that a little bit deeper. One of the teams is a little bit more star-studded, if that's the right word, than the other, and that is UL. They're the ones with the big names. They are the favourites tonight. Let's not beat around the bush, whereas DCU are coming down here in hope, but at the same time we've got to be realistic and we've got to look at the stats, for example, that have been there. Now, we're not saying that DCU can't win this game by any means, but the records so far, I was adding them up, Joe, and DCU, they've won their games with 110, 113, 115, 221. That adds up to 5 goals and 59. And UL have won their games with 219, 327, 337 and 632. So they've scored 14 goals and 115 points. Now, obviously, that depends on the opposition, but they've basically scored twice as much. How much do we read into that?
Well, if you were to look at it like that, DCU would want to score everything they've scored in one go this evening to have a chance. But to be fair, look, at UL are a massive powerhouse. The forwards they have are, as we said, star-studded. The one thing you would say is, it's a one-off game, it's a final. There'll be nerves and everything else. And DCU have came through all their games so far that they've won this year have been tight contests. In particular, their semi-final victory over MTU Cork, formerly CIT. They beat them after extra time. So look, at obviously DCU are the fight of the dog is in them, as we spoke about before, but they'll need all resilience that they've shown so far and a lot more, I think, if they're to live with this UL side. It's one of the strongest fresher teams you'll ever see on paper, to be honest, with the
ever.
Yeah, well, look, there's been other teams
that
could rival it, but unfortunately they're all from UL as well. But look, as I said, UL have a fantastic setup down there, and they get good hurlers, and this crop are particularly special. So they're after winning a Fitzgibbon, and I'd be very shocked if they couldn't add a fresher to it as well.
Yeah, I've seen them down the years, and you mentioned earlier the likes of Jason Ford and these guys star-studded. But LIT under Davy took them a few years ago, and teams can't take them. They're not invincible, and it isn't always about the big names, as you will well know.
Yeah, that's true. But as I also mentioned to you, maybe there was a bit of underplaying done about the LIT team that beat that UL team. They were an exceptional.
What, by Davy? You're joking?
Yeah, well, look, I don't know, by one E anyway, but I know for sure that LIT team was a particularly strong team as well.
There's some guy, Kelly, apparently wasn't too bad.
Yeah, they had a few.
Anthony Kelly or something.
They had a Canning guy as well there skipping around for a year or two. But look, I think this DCU team, if they are going to pull off this, it'll be the shock of all shocks in fresher hurling.
Well, I'll remind you about that at the end.
Let's been wrong before, Jerome.
The last day you did the game at Pearse Stadium, and you were right all the way through.
All the way through, yeah.
Not one mistake.
Even when the game was over, I wasn't sure who won, Jerome, to be honest, so I wouldn't read into that.
I didn't really know who'd won either, but I was just trying to keep the equipment down because it was like a storm came in and our monitor went flying behind me, so the last thing I was thinking about. So you could have been right or wrong, I don't know. Right, the captain's right in the middle there, and the captain for UL is actually number 11, Patrick Crotty from, is it? Now you're going to keep me right in pronunciations. Scariff in Clare.
He's actually.
And does he get Patrick or Paddy?
Patrick, I think, yeah.
Patrick,
but he's made his debut now with Clare the last couple of league games, and he's actually looked very impressive for him. So he's coming from a traditionally strong hurling club. They've been weak in the last number of years, but with the likes of him coming through, you know, there's a lot of strength obviously developing down there. Well,
I see also that the number 10 for UL, Keelan Hardigan's from the same club, so the two lads playing alongside each other there.
Yeah, and Mark Rogers, that would have featured at full forward for that UL team. He got injured in the semi-final. He's also from that club, so I'm amazed they're not doing better than they are, but maybe they've no backs. But whatever the case may be, they have a couple of very strong young forwards coming through anyway. Right,
let's look at the teams and let's talk about them. And actually, do you know what, Joe, just before that, I'm looking out and both teams are wearing dark jerseys, and DCU usually wear the yellow. The ladies yesterday in the O'Connor Cup competition, one of their teams was wearing a bright yellow, but I see they're wearing like a dark blue, and we have a dark maroon on the other side as well. So
maybe DCU, they couldn't wash the jerseys in time from yesterday.
Maybe that's it. Right, let's go through the teams. UL in gold, Stephen O'Halloran from Galway. 2, Conor O'Dwyer. Tip, Christy Brennan at number 3, another Galway man from Clarenbridge. 4, Michael Corcoran from Tip, Silvermines. In the half-back line for UL, it's Colin Coughlin from Limerick, Ethan Hurley from Newcastle West at number 6, and Sean O'Hanlon at 7, another Galway man. At midfield, they have 2 Tip men, Conor Cadell and Max Hackett. And in the half forwards, as I said, they've Keelan Hardigan at number 10, Patrick Crotty, the captain, at 11, and 12 is Cathal O'Neill, and he is from Limerick as well. In the full forward line, they have a Kilkenny man, Ian Byrne at number 13 from Glenmore, 14 Aidan O'Connor from Ballybrown, and 15 they have Adam Lynch, and he is from Doon in Limerick. I make that 3 Galway men, 4 Tip, 5 Limerick, 1 Kilkenny and 2 Clare.
Yep.
And moving on to DCU then, we'll go through their team quickly. Cian Byrne is from Wexford and goals. They have 4 Wexford men actually and 8 dubs. Fionn Rock from O'Toole's in Dublin is number 2. 3 is Owen Forbes from Creve Kieran, and Eddie Kelly is at 4, another Wexford man. The half-back line for DCU, Paul Dolan, Kildare man actually. 6 is Jeremy Clerkin from the Fianna in Dublin. 7, Kieran Doyle Maher from Wexford. Midfield, Dave Fiacre Fitzpatrick from Carlow, Mount Leinster Rangers, and 9 is Thomas Hurley from Raheny. And the half-forward line, they've Dennis Walsh from Kilkenny, Joe Flanagan from Naomh Barrog in Dublin, and 12 is Neil Clerkin from St Oliver Plunkett's in Dublin. And from the same club, Ger Ryan at number 13. 14 is Owen O'Connor from Fingallians, and 15 is Jeremy O'Leary from Wexford. And I gather you like the look of him.
Yeah, he'd be one of their kind of key marksmen. They'll be looking to him to get on a series of ball. But look at, as I said, from the other side, from UL, Patrick Crotty, obviously we mentioned him already, but the two big Limerick guys, Cathal O'Neill and Adam English, they're both consistent starters for the Limerick seniors at the moment, so they'll look to them. And the 2 Tip boys in midfield, Conor Cadell and Max Hackett, are 2 big promising Tip stars of the future. So we could talk about the UL team for the day. They're scattered with talent, but look, as I said, you never know. It's a game of hurling, so if DCU can wire into them good and hard from the off, maybe they can upset the odds, but they'll earn it.
Right. Let me put you on the spot then as a manager at this level. You're saying that if they get wired into them early on, if you were manager playing up against this team who are the favourites and have scored big all the way through, what do you do? Surely it's not a matter of just getting wired in tactically. What would you do? Well,
tactically, you've got to set yourself up somewhat defensive. The last thing you want to do is goals to be running in from the very off, so you'd probably drop back a centre back, play a little bit deeper and protect your full back line.
So a sweeper?
Well, it's kind of one way of wording it, but nowadays we don't call them those Ulster football kind of words. But, just dropping a little bit deeper.
We've even got sweeper keepers now.
Getting their midfielders a little bit deeper, and you just got to fight for
Sounds
every
like
scrap.
A sweeper to me.
Fight for every scrap. And,
right, so you're dropping somebody in there?
No.
At least one?
You're just dropping your whole team is shuffling back.
Oh, your whole team?
Yeah.
All right, okay.
Real Tyrone tactics.
Let's get on with the game. Here we go. We're The ball is thrown in by Shane Guinan, and right from the start it is Patrick Crotty, the captain of UL, who grabs it immediately. The intensity is very obvious right from the start of the game. Actually, it was Joe Flanagan who got in there, number 11. It was the other number 11 who got in there right away from DCU. So the navy jerseys from DCU right down in front of us here, and you are almost touching the players here, and you can see that there is no time at all on the ball, but they are adept at moving it around, and this is good play by DCU actually in very tight situations, and that is an effort from Paul Dolan from Kildare, and it's gone to the right and wide. You are really struck right away by the speed of the game out there. These boys are really going at it, but this is the top level. These are the top freshers in the country, and is this going to be the first score of the game for UL? And it is. Good lively start.
Yeah, that's Aidan O'Connor there with the first score of the game for UL. This lovely score, took it in off the right and swung it over his left shoulder. Brilliant score.
But just before that, DCU had an effort here, but it looked like they were maybe a little bit ambitious, shall we say, from there.
If you look out, they're playing exactly the way I said they should. So they've only got two bodies up in the full forward line. Everyone else is 60, 70 yards out the field. They're trying to protect their own area, but...
And they do have someone back here now. Whether you call it a sweeper or not, they do have an extra player back here. Now, UL.
So Adam English.
It is indeed. The number 15 puts it high, and has he got it accurate? He has put it wide. So the goalkeeper for DCU, Cian Byrne from Rosslare. Where does he go? He tries to go quite short, and he picks out Michael Corcoran actually, and he gets it up into that full forward area, whereas Joe said there's only left a couple of men up there. Now they're calling for a free there, but they're not going to get it, and UL clear their lines, and they're looking over that far side. It's very hard to see the numbers actually on the far side, especially on the maroon jerseys. But it's a free in, that's for sure.
Yeah, look at it, you can see from the very off what DCU are trying to do. As we said, sit back. They're trying to ping balls into the corners, and they obviously got a bit of pace inside. But unfortunately, the UL full backline has dealt very well with it so far, and UL are distributing their ball very clever, switch of play across the pitch, and it's another free in, a very handy scoreable chance for...
Just looking off camera actually, Joe, at the structure, I mean the way they're laid out as well, UL have at least one player back there on their own 21, not marking anybody either. Yeah,
well look at what else are they going to do. I suppose there's no point in, they're going to match sweepers for sweeper, because they're going to make sure they don't concede any soft goals either, you know. But you'd have to say early doors, it's a good start for UL. They look strong.
They do indeed. DCU getting the ball up the field though, if they can get a break here. Let's see. They don't. There's a hurl that's gone flying, and it's good work by Connor Cadell, the tip man at number 8 for UL, and they're through here, and they'll just take another point here. They'll just pop that over, but it's actually gone wide, and that effort
poor wide from
was from Hardigan. It was indeed the number 10. You must have better eyesight than me. You know these guys as well, but the numbers are very hard to see. Yeah. So Cian Byrne, the goalkeeper again, sends it long. DCU will try again, but don't get it. And the ball popped up. And has it stayed in? It hasn't stayed in. They were trying to get it to Colin O'Neill, but it's gone over the line, and the photographer's really close as well there. He could have got knocked over there. Everybody very close to the line, but that's college's hurling, isn't it?
Yep.
So our camera right above this, and apart from the photographer, we're the closest people to Dennis Walsh here, who can probably hear me commentating on him. He's from Dunnamaggin in County Kilkenny.
If he puts much more of a hole in the field, it won't be in as good condition as it was before the start of the game.
Now, don't you be talking about the pitch, because Michael O'Connor's here from NUAG. If he hears you.
Oh, I can see him, don't worry.
Oh, and he's not connected too well. It's gone quite low, but he's going to look for it back, and he might get it back. No, he's not. Instead, it's Joe Flanagan. Joe does well, actually. Off he goes on a nice run. Just pops it over as well, and there's a chance here for Neil Clerkin. Haven't got a score yet. And that's going to drop short. It's going to be taken by the goalkeeper, Stephen O'Halloran. Oh, and he hasn't been able to get that one. He might get it at the second time of asking here. That's Paul Dolan, I think, the number 5. And yeah, this is good work by Fakra Fitzpatrick for DCU. And there's Dolan still trying to work his way through, but UL very, very strong and very organised and very sharp in the tackle. and they clear their lines. Now there's a room up at the other end. We can't see. I'm going to have to use my step here to try and see what's going on above all the subs here. In the left corner. And I think he's given a free in. The DCU man is looking to take it. Yeah, it's a free out.
There was some great work there from UL in defence there. Michael Corcoran coming out with a great ball after a good carry from the DCU wing back, but we're not getting much joy yet.
No, they're going to have real difficulty there. DCU trying to break through that defence. This UL team is exceptionally strong all over the field, and here they come again. Look at the strength. Look at the run. Oh my goodness. Try and stop that if you can. And he gets a score at the end of it as well. Well, that was like a runaway train.
Like there's so much talk all over Ireland about this lad, but in Limerick in particular, coming into a team that's won a couple of All-Irelands, they really rate this guy as the next big thing, and he gave a good example of it there. You've got Conor Cadell on the ball again now.
He just took off there. He reminds me on the football of the Cavan guy, Galligan is it? And when he gets the ball, he just tears through the middle, and there's nobody can stop him. Thomas Galligan. The two tip boys in midfield for UL are really dominating already. They've had a couple of wides, but they're getting on a hell of a lot of balls. So DC are going to need to do something there. It's hard to see it at the minute, but they will persist, and that ball goes long. But UL have the bigger numbers there, and they just pick up the pieces. There's a lovely low, accurate ball into the forwards as well, and it's gone to Patrick Crotty, the captain, and off he goes. And the effort coming in from the full forward, and it's a brilliant effort, and it's Aidan O'Connor from Ballybrown in Limerick, and they really are purring really, really nicely.
What you'd say, Jerome, the concerning thing is from a DCU perspective is UL don't seem to have broken sweat really to be in the position they're in. Their strike, they have a couple of city wides hit as well, you know, but it's very easy for them at the moment.
Now that's a good idea. They've given it low and accurately up the middle, DCU. They've given it to Dennis Walsh, so they're making sure they get possession at least, but they haven't even really got into a position yet where they can score. UL are just so strong and so organised in there. They're battling here, DCU, just to get a little bit of space. And look at the chasing in there, the tenacity and the hunting at packs. Look, there's three of them on him there, and that's a nice ball over through them, though. That's the way to try and get through. They've threaded that through, and now finally here there is a bit of room, and it's Joe Flanagan. Can he get it on target? It's close, and I think it's just inside, and it has been given. But how hard did they have to work for that, Joe?
They work so hard. Like it's unbelievable tackling from UL, but you'll have to say it's great composure from DCU and a fine score at the end of it. You know, they battled every inch for that score, so we're going to need plenty more of them.
Yeah, they're really, really going to have to keep up that intensity all the way through. But UL, as you said at the start, one of the most impressive freshers teams you are likely to see. Now they're over on the far side where most of the crowd is as well. Big crowd over the far side enjoying this game, and a big crowd online. We hope you are enjoying it, and feel free to leave a comment on Facebook there if you like, and tell us your thoughts on the game, and we'll keep an eye on that as we go on. Now DCU trying to get another score here. They've got their first score, but look again, the tackling, the intensity. 3 men on every one man when he gets the ball, but Dennis Walsh again has done well, and this is nice passing as well, and it's Flanagan at the end of it again, and that's 2 in a row for the dub, the man from Naomh Barrogue, and I think DCU are settling into this game.
Yeah, you can't fault both scores they've got so far have been really hard earned, and they've been excellent scores, but it's the other side of the field you worry for them. Ooh.
And that's broken again for UL. And it's that midfield that Joe was talking about, and the finish coming in. They just don't miss, do they? That was brilliant from Aidan O'Connor, made by Conor Cadell.
Play for him now. He's having a brilliant opening few minutes. But as I said, just again, the work rate, the midfield for UL are getting through. They're making it easy for the boys ahead of them. But
they're so efficient as well. I mean, they just got the ball there in a short period of time and not much space, and they just bang, bang, it's gone. They are very accurate. This fella here is a big fella in the middle of the field, and off he goes as well. He makes it look easy, and as you said, Joe, it looks like they've hardly even broken sweat. There's more in this team, and that is Colin Coughlin from Ballybrown in Limerick. He looks like a colossus out there.
Yeah, two Ballybrown lads in the UL team. they wouldn't be. They're one of the bigger clubs in Limerick, so it's great to see they have a good representative.
See DCU going short again here. That seems to be the tactic. That seems to be the idea, because they're getting no change out of the long ball. But now they're having to go long. But there's an extra UL man back there, and the referee has actually spotted something. I think he's going to give a free in there. It must have been a push or something there. So
Soft
it's a free
enough
in.
now, but with a little push in the back, I'd say.
Actually, it looks like, has he spotted something further out? No, it's up there. It is up there, because Dennis Walsh is over this one. They've had 2 scores so far, DCU, both by the Dublin man Flanagan. They've 8 Dublin men in the starting 15, but this man is from Kilkenny, and he doesn't miss, and that's 3 points. Did he miss?
Off the post and over.
Well, yeah, it did go over. I heard it pinging all right, but it did go over. Just about.
He was confident.
Never doubted him. That was gone way over to the right-hand side. We'll call that the hillside, the trees side, and that's too far for me to figure out. They all look like, when they're over in that corner, it looks like they've all got the same colours on, actually, to be honest. I'll let you commentate on that bit, Joe, because I haven't a clue what's going on.
The jerseys are bizarrely similar.
And the shorts.
From any distance, yeah, exactly. Even the socks are. But
oh, that's a lovely ball. And taken well as well. That's what I mean about being efficient. These guys are great ballers. They really are, and it's a point as well. They made it look so easy.
Yeah, that's Cathal O'Neill again. He's a real class act. So I'm afraid I'll be gone hoarse from saying that, I think, throughout the course of this game. But he's a real hurler. Here we go again.
And they're through. And they might go for goal this time. They do, and they get it as well. Finished to the net. It seemed like only a matter of time. We are seeing exhibition stuff here, because UL are looking very, very impressive. And that was Adam English from Doon in Limerick. And he sauntered through, and they look like they haven't broken sweat yet, but they are on top, and they are making it look easy, but they are fantastic.
Yeah, look, it's obviously the risk versus the reward of the sharp hook out the goal. He got it wrong there for DCU. And Adam English punished as any good senior intercounty hurler playing fresher hurling will do, so.
Now DCU trying to get possession there. They haven't got it at UL. And breaking out there is Sean O'Hanlon, the Galway man. And there's men all over the place as well. They're looking to move the ball quickly.
You see, as this game will go on, Jerome, you just wonder how much chasing shadows DCU will be able to do, and it could get away from them. But
I get what you're saying from a competitive point of view, but at the same time, I have to say it's brilliant to see what is really an exhibition of skills out there, and just to watch them, because they're fantastic to watch. They're brilliant. And it's obvious that the scores they put up were no flukes, and it wasn't a matter of the opposition. They are just really good.
Yeah, and you can see in spells so far in the game, like DCU are well able to hurl as well. It's not that DCU are a poor team, it's just UL just seem to be a level above everyone else in the competition, and that's the way it appears so far in this game as well. So,
just checking on Facebook for your messages and comments on the game to see who's watching and how many are on there. We hope you're enjoying it. Back with the play. This is Walsh, who got the score a few minutes ago, just for DCU. Now, it looks like he was taken out after to get rid of the ball there, but there's still a chance for DCU, and the referee was playing advantage. He's bringing it back for that challenge, and it'll be a free in, and he might fancy this himself. And he's not happy with a little bit of back chat there, actually, from one of the DCU players who was unhappy, and he's obviously saying to Fiacre Fitzpatrick, you got your free.
Yeah. Well, look at your man was running through, in fairness, the wing forward, so he was taken out, and probably rightly so. Stop a goal going in, so it's cynical, but it's probably the right thing to do. Now,
this is Dennis taking his time. Dennis from Dunnamaggin. Last time I was confident, but he just pinged it off the post and no more. And this is at a slightly worse angle, and it's gone quite the same sort of direction as it gone over.
Yeah.
I think they're going for it, yeah. That's 4 points now for DCU. But that goal a few minutes ago would have rocked them, and that's put real daylight between the teams. DCU clearing this time, and that's a good ball actually up to Walsh, and he's been involved a lot. Goes onto his left side, and this could be dangerous if they can get on the end of this one. The goalkeeper though watches it all the way, Stephen O'Halloran. Ger Ryan was trying to get in there to see if there was any scraps, but there were none. This is Sean O'Hanlon. And he goes with a diagonal ball, looking into the right corner. Drilled that one at a beautiful angle for the forwards, and they're looking to profit now. They're having to come back to when they've been turned over. And instead, it's come out here to Paul Dolan. Paul leaves it off to Walsh. Goes onto that left side, and he's a clear sight this time, and he puts it up high, but I think he's put it to the right, and he has put it wide.
Yeah, that diagonal ball from UL is really putting DCU under pressure here now.
And this time it's not diagonal, it's straight up the middle, and it's got a serious length on it, but it's just gone to the left and it's gone wide. But they've such confidence to go for their scores from almost anywhere, this UL team.
They have, but if you had an outfit inside like they have, you'd be furious if you're one of the ones inside, or if you're a UL manager, to be wasting possession like that. But
so that was a wee bit too ambitious from there. Now DCU trying to get possession from these puck outs, but on that occasion it didn't work, and they could be punished here because Keelan Hardigan is on it. He's left it off to, is that his captain?
Without even looking at it.
It's gone over. They have punished them. They don't miss much, do they?
The likes of, as I said, I've mentioned already, the likes of Cathal O'Neill and Adam English and Aidan O'Connor, they're not going to miss any shot within 45, you know. So, but it comes from another mistake of a puck out from DCU, you know. But it's very difficult for the goalkeeper when he hasn't got many targets to hit at, you know. So
yeah, he's just gone long this time.
Ball hit the overhead wires there, which happens is a feature here in Dangan sometimes. I've never seen
I think I saw that happen once. It might have been
normally the refs just say get on
3 or 4 years ago. Yeah, I remember at the time being completely confused though. I didn't know what had happened, but yeah, there's overhead wires here. If it hits that, you got to stop the play. And that's what they did. Referee Shane Guinan from Offaly put it back in, and eventually it's a free to DCU around the middle of the field. And I know we're talking about, you know, it might be a little bit one-sided. DCU are hanging in there, shall we say, but they're up against a star-studded team. But there's also the angle that you've got to look at, that this is an exhibition of the best young hurlers at this age in the country. And I know one man who would love this, and that's a man that the cup is named after, Big John Corcoran, UCC man, a Cork man. Did you ever meet him? Did you know him?
No, I never.
You never knew him? No. Oh my goodness, what a guy! Full of life, big guy in every way, and he was always full of life and full of crack and very down to earth as well. And he's gone 6 years now, sadly, but this cup is named after him, and there's a lot of people with very fond memories of the big fella, and he would have loved to see hurling played at this level, and he loved being out with the college, as he called it. It was always the college, never UCC. It was always, come on, the college.
And they're very proud down in UCC of their college hurling, and I can tell you that they're a very difficult place to go to. The hardest place in Ireland to go and get a win is the Mardyke.
And in the football as well, he was in there with Billy Morgan for a lot of their successes, and with UCC down the years. Great man, absolutely great man. Now Max Hackett it is indeed, the tip man. And their forwards are just so quick, aren't they? And they're lethal. And as I say that, he might have missed one there. He did miss one.
You know what? UL will be relatively disappointed with their opening exchanges here, because
come on.
I know they will. They will, because they've left a few scores after them, and they haven't shown that much intensity in an attacking sense, you know. But I think they could open up.
This is Jeremy Clerkin from the Fianna in Dublin, the centre half back for DCU, and they're just trying to get their game together, and they're just trying to find a way through this UL defence, and they found a way once or twice, but only once or twice, not nearly enough. They've tried the short one, they've tried the long one. Now they're over on the hillside there, and you can hardly make them out from the people in the hill over there. Neutral venue, of course. I wouldn't imagine there's too many DCU people have come down, maybe a few from UL up the road. Neutral venue for this final, being hosted here in Dangan now. UL trying to burst through, but that's been turned over, and it's DCU spreading the play out here to Dolan. Now they've gone long, trying to get it into the danger area and hoping for a break in there, but you're not going to get many breaks against these fellas here. They are absolutely lethal.
Aidan O'Brien again, or Aidan O'Connor.
I'm glad you're telling me these names. I just cannot see those numbers on the back of the UL jerseys, and it's a DCU ball anyway. You reckon they're only in second gear?
Like the last 5 or 6 minutes in particular has been kind of poor enough from both sides.
Is that maybe just a bit of the focus? You know, they've
no,
got the goal since then.
Tackling is good, but it's just a lot of lads' touches letting them down, and striking isn't going exactly to the intended target. But I'd say there's a lot of gears in this UL team.
That's a nice connection, but it's very well taken by Conor O'Dwyer from Cashel in Tipperary, and he does that diagonal ball again, but they've dealt with it in there, and it's actually Jerome O'Leary for DCU, the number 15 all the way back there, giving it to his goalkeeper. Maybe that says something about the way the game is going, but I'll let Joe McKeown deal with the tactical side of it in a minute, because meantime Dennis Walsh has it in the middle of the field. He's been impressive. He likes to run, he likes to get on that left side, and he just pops it in there, but it's just spilled again, and they cannot afford to do that against this UL team, because they are so sharp and they look to punish you. And they've got it up to Crotty, the captain, on his left side with the socks pulled up, and he gets plenty of height on it, but it's just gone to the right, I think, and it has indeed gone wide.
Poor wide again, and look, we can hear the DCU management in front of us are looking for quick puck outs, and you know, it's probably the easiest way. They seem to be losing 50-50
but look,
balls,
it's been intercepted again. I mean, they're trying to
well.
put it through the eye of a needle there, and it's so difficult because of the pressure, the press that's on there. They've eventually even conceded
Jerome,
one.
if these balls don't go directly to hand, you haven't got a second. Like, you've got less than a half a second to control that ball. But they're kind of the architects of their own downfall so far in this game. But
as we're saying, tactically there, Jerome O'Leary, 15. I mean, he's one of their star players, but he's having to play right back in defence there.
But I think we can definitely confirm DCU are playing a sweeper. They're not just playing defensively. So.
I knew I'd finally get you to admit it, and you've even used that terminology.
Yeah, I don't like that.
You have to think of something more creative for it then, more complimentary than
defensive.
That, you know. Now, the goalkeeper for DCU, Cian Byrne, has done this a lot, pucking the ball out, and a lot of the times it's just fallen in there, and that's Ethan Hurley
but you
from
see,
Limerick.
what does he do, Jerome? If he goes short, they seem to be losing a lot of the short ones. If he goes long, they're losing the long. It's a tricky situation for the goalie, in fairness to him.
That was Adam English trying to get on that. Didn't get there, though. And look, it's like there's two UL men everywhere. And that's popped out by Owen O'Connor to Neil Clerkin.
Through the ball.
And a throw has been spotted as well, but that's partly just down to the pressure they're under.
In the last few weeks, there's a lot of talk about what's a throw and what's not a throw, but I'd say you can definitely write that one down as a throw.
Where do you stand on all that? I know it was a hot topic in the Sunday game.
Yeah, in my opinion, I think I wouldn't like to see the game slowing down. I think unless it's a completely obvious throw of a ball, I think if there's any connection with the hand, I say let it go, let the game go. When it's, you know,
it's
when
almost
it's
impossible
leading
to tell.
good scores and stuff like that, let the game go. You know.
Yeah.
There's people who are paid more than me and you, Jerome, to come out with statements and figure out the right and wrong of that. But I think when hurling is good, you know, keep it going. Don't be trying to slow it down.
But where did it come from, this whole thing? This sort of campaign almost to sort of do this. It's almost like the in thing at the minute. But what kicked it off?
I think kind of Limerick lads in particular, not just having a go at Limerick lads, but they just seem to move the ball very fast without a massive deliberate strike at the hand. So I suppose it's been targeted and highlighted a bit recently. And but like everything else, I'm sure it'll die out. That's a brilliant score again. Yeah,
so you remember a few years ago about the penalties and, you know, where it was taken from and keepers coming off their line and all sorts. It's like one thing just comes up and it's a topic at that time, and then, as you say, it settles down.
I think that was an important one, though, because I think someone quite possibly would have got seriously injured with the distance in they were coming with them shots, like.
But it took a while for them to actually sort that out and do take the sensible option in the end. But they got there. I hope you're enjoying the coverage here from Dangan. It's still cool here, but a lovely crisp evening by the river, enjoying the game and enjoying the hurling. It's a bit one-sided, but there's been a lot to enjoy about the game out there. 1 goal so far.
You just hope, Jerome, for the second half that DCU will just come out and, I suppose, throw a bit of caution to the wind and have a go at the game, you know, and go man to man, because their sweeper has worked marginally, but they're still well behind, you know.
Well, I suppose they might as well.
Got a free here again now.
Is it my imagination, or is a lot of the play on that side of the pitch, the far side from us?
Of the play seems
is that because they're deliberately going down the right?
Well, if you look out in front of us, there's nearly half a pitch empty, so a lot of the play is going down that side, alright. DCU need a score now just to settle them down again and try and build on something. At the moment, they're living off scraps.
Last time I was here, I saw a goalkeeper put one over right at the start of the game from about 10 yards further back from that. Now, he obviously brought his bigger boss out with him. Is that one going to reach? It's going to drop short. DCU haven't had a sniff of a goal so far, but they're all in there. See if they can get in there, but they cannot.
Great work by Conor O'Dwyer from tip. Great ball up.
I see Jerome O'Leary, the number 15 there for DCU, running over to cover. They're trying to get cover. He is there, but still, UL are finding ways. They go back to go forward. They've given that out to Crotty, but he hasn't been able to get it, actually. And it's going to be a free to DCU.
Yep. To be fair, UL's backs have been immense in the game so far. They've come out with ball after ball, but I think their distribution of ball has been good. They've given good ball up, but I think if I was over UL now, I wouldn't be delighted with the, I suppose, the output we're getting from our forwards, you know. But I suppose if they keep that quality of ball going, it's only a matter of time before UL will start to capitalise again. And of course, as I said to you before the game, the bench that UL have as well. You know, they have serious hurlers to bring on if things aren't working out. So,
well, I think they'll use the bench anyway in the second half and give them all a run if they're well ahead. You may as well do that. And is that a free? No, it's actually over carrying given against Jer Ryan in there, and DCU not happy about that. But what do you think, Joe?
Well, I suppose he took about 40 steps, so I haven't much of an argument on that one now. But
so just slightly more than you're allowed.
Slightly more than you're allowed. There were small steps. We're looking to launch another attack from here from their own full back line.
Now they do like to go diagonal, but this time from that ball it's gone straight. They've gone over the telegraph wires and they've gone into the left corner, trying to get a little bit of room here. And this is Cal O'Neill coming back out to Sean O'Hanlon. And for once they actually spill a ball. That's a little bit unusual, but he comes all the way back. There's always an extra man, and there is now. And now they're using that diagonal ball going into the right corner. That was pumped in there by Ethan Hurley. And Joe was saying they're maybe not profiting enough up there. They're maybe not being as productive as it should be, but they got a point there. Yeah,
it was actually good play all over there. It was a brilliant catch from Patrick Crotty, laid it off to Cathal O'Neill, and they, as you said, they actually fumbled the ball for once, but recycled the possession. It's a great score from Hartigan over on the fair side.
Now, where did DCU go this time? So hard just to get possession from their own puck house, and look at the connection in there. Now they have got it this time, and it's Paul Dolan, the number 5 actually. Crotty looks to come in to try and get it. Oh, and look how sharp they are. That's brilliant. Oh, and lovely skills as well. And is he going to pop it over? Might be just to the right. It is. No, it's over. It's over.
Adam English again.
Yeah.
He hasn't got an awful lot of ball, but I suppose he's one got from the limited possessions he has got on. So
I think it struck me there was that he performed it so quickly. It was so sharp. It was like a different level. He just stepped up the pace, and there's the interception again. The press here from the forwards is impressive. This is the captain. This is Crotty. Tries to leave it off. It's intercepted by Fitzpatrick for DCU. But it's anybody's in there right now. And this has all come from the press and the interception, as DCU just trying to get out of their own half, but unable to. They're going to try again, though, and that is Fionn Rock, the dub, but it's been intercepted once again. Serious pressure all over the field, and this is Crotty now. Always easily recognisable because he's got the socks up, and as he put it over,
it's another.
And he has missed it on this occasion, but what a serious press.
Yeah.
They don't give him a minute.
It's very easy to recognise Patrick Crotty, all right. He's one of the few lads in modern day GA with his socks up around his knees. So I know when he comes on for Clare, starts for Clare in Cusick Park, he gets a good buzz. I think he reminds him of lads around 1990s going around with the socks up, but he can hurl too.
Oh, he sure can. And DCU this time get it to Paul Dolan. He's been the target for a lot of these puck outs, and they finally got it. But even when they leave it off here, as they have to Jeremy Clerkin and back to Dolan, they just can't advance because of the pressure on them.
Well, there's a little chop there now on the wing back for DCU.
I'm looking off camera here now, Joe, and it looks like the goalkeeper's coming up to take this. That's Cian Byrne, and Or no, he's not actually going to take it. They're going to take it low instead, and Fitzpatrick tries the shorter option. They were all waiting for it on the edge of the square, actually, but instead they've gone short. And no matter what they try, they just are finding a serious intensity there. That's good work, actually, by Thomas Hurley, the number 9 from Raheny in Dublin, giving as good as he's getting in there, and that's exactly what they're doing. Ger Ryan's in there. The Dubs are all having a go in there. They're not getting too far. It's a bit of a scrum in there. That's good work, actually, by Dennis Walsh to get it up, and he's been rewarded as well. It was a nice pick-up, and he gets us free. A little bit of argy-bargy after it. Now, lads, no need for that. Dolan comes in with his bit as well. And the referee blowing his whistle, but they're just ignoring him, Joe.
Yeah, well, look at no harm livening it up a bit, but I suppose from a DCU perspective, you'd say maybe they should have done this after 30 seconds of the game and not waited to be so far behind to show a bit of bite. But yeah, it'll liven things up a small bit. Nothing major, only a bit of pulling and dragging.
No, there was nothing really there that I could see. I think it was a free before all that, wasn't it, the DCU?
Give the free and move on with it.
Referee politely asking the sideline to
be quiet,
drop the volume and refrain from offering their opinions, I think. I think that was the exact terminology that he used.
Well, you know what, in fairness to him, in fairness to refs, and I'd be one to have often voiced my opinion towards the ref, they should be allowed to say back the very same as they're getting as well, because it's a tough gig.
So Shane throws it in, so they didn't get their free after all that, DCU. And
no,
there is a half-time whistle, so they had a chance there, they could have had a point, and they ended up losing it. I'm not sure it was their fault, though, for losing it.
Look,
you know, should you not still have had the free?
No, I suppose if you react or whatever the case may be, you're liable to lose the free, you know, so it was a bit silly on their perspective, but
not sure it'll make a pile of difference.
No.
But it has been, to sum it up, Joe McKeown, an interesting and entertaining first half. It's been a little bit one-sided. DCU have given as good as they can get, but this UL machine is so impressive, and they've been clearly the best team so far, but I've really enjoyed the first half.
Yeah, look, there's been some terrific scores, and there's been, you know, good tackling and effort from both sides, but as I said, you know, you just fear that there is another gear or two in UL and that they haven't really got motoring yet, and if they do, it could be they might as well start the bus and hit for Dublin, because it's only going to go one way. But yeah, as you said, some brilliant scores.
Okay, that's Joe McKeown, and I'm Jerome Quinn, and we're on the live stream here in Dangan from this Electric Ireland Freshers Hurling final. We hope you're enjoying the coverage. We're going to give it 5 minutes or so, and we'll be back for the second half. shot of some DCU supporters who are over on the far side in the dark on the hill there, but they're certainly enjoying their night. If not, maybe the performance, because it's going one way. It's going in the direction of UL, but DCU are certainly giving it everything, and they're going to win an award for the best supporters tonight because they've got a banner over on the far side, and a lot of the students are over there giving a good vociferous support for their team, trying to lift them in the second half here, and maybe they will.
I sure look at the beer is cheaper in Galway than Dublin, so they're probably enjoying it, you know. So
look,
they're entitled to it.
It sounds good to be. You know, we trip to Galway on a, what night is it?
Wednesday, I think. Yeah, that's another poor wide there now for UL.
What do you mean another poor wide? We're only in the first minute of the second half.
Well,
they were doing exhibition stuff in the first half now.
They had a few exhibition wides anyway.
I never heard that phrase before.
Yeah.
That's a new one. You're good at these original phrases now. I like that.
I'll start charging extra
Exhibition, exhibitional wides. There's a free for overcarrying. Here, I have a bit of trivia for you.
Yes.
Do you like trivia?
Yeah, depends if I know it or not.
What was the last GAA game in any code that was called off just before COVID?
The final of this.
Good man, I knew you'd know it.
They were on their way to Tullamore when it was called off, I believe.
Yeah, they were more or less packing their bags on their way. These two colleges were to play in this exact game, and it was the last game. No, it's not the last game. It was the first game, actually, to be postponed, if we put it like that. The first game to fall victim to COVID, I think, is the easiest way to say it. But so this is it, kind of 2 years later.
No,
and it's almost exactly 2 years later.
What I recall from those times is those two teams were a lot closer matched. That would have been a humdinger of a game, but
yeah, that's why I said it's the two colleges. But obviously, teams change so much in a couple of years. Yeah. But UL, very, very strong, and they dominated the first half. And they're already.
But as I said, Jerome, they're dominating without really doing much as well. You know.
Yeah, but they haven't had to.
They won't be overly.
To me, it changed a bit when they got the goal. It's like the intensity dropped a little bit. But here's a chance now, and they might add to that in the second half. And that is Cathal O'Neill.
It's Hartigan.
And he's put it wide. Was that Hartigan?
Yeah.
Oh, it was 10. I thought it was 12 in the back again. It's hard to see these numbers. But I imagine they'll be rolling on the subs in the second half. UL, you said they have a really good bench, so we'll see some more of that. You don't often hear singing at colleges hurling matches, but we are hearing singing tonight as some of those DCU supporters enjoying their night. And they might get something to cheer about here because DCU on the attack. And it's intercepted in there by Colin Coughlin.
He's had a good game, very good game for UL, Colin Coughlin so far.
They have some big fellas back there. They're very imposing and very athletic.
No, here's Adam
and some
English.
nippy forwards too.
Yeah.
Where's that going? Is that going to be the first score of the second half? It is the first score of the second half. Who got that one?
Adam English again. That's 1-3 I'd say he's got now in the game so far. He's had a... I look at he hadn't had much ball, but he's made serious work out of the possession he has had, you know. So.
Yeah, I noticed in the first half when he gets the ball, he's so quick with it. Now... This ball is dropping to our left. And that's Kieran Doyle-Maher, the number 7 from Rathmuir and Wexford for DCU, battling for it, but he was outnumbered just there. Sideline ball for UL then. And eventually Joe Flanagan gets out of the way. And the subs are not budging. And that goes straight towards Keelan Hardigan, the number 10. Now I can almost touch them here, but I don't want to get too close because you could easily get knocked over. These boys are flying at a serious pace, and that is Cathal O'Neill putting that up in the sky there and putting it over the bar. And oh my goodness, the speed and intensity here and the precision.
That's as good a score as you'll see in any game, any day. That's he beat his man and stood him up along the side and hit it on the run. He's a class act.
Well, he's a Limerick senior.
He's really good joke.
That's Fionn Rock, number 2 for DCU. And there have been 2 points in the second half, both for UL. This is Jeremy Clerkin, number 6, but he hasn't been able to pick that up, and immediately they're swarming around him, giving him no chance at all. Ball pops out, and it's UL trying to break, and I think that's O'Hanlon, is it? And O'Hanlon eventually gets his free.
Colin Coughlin again standing over it.
He's inside his own half now. I wonder will he fancy this one. I don't see many people going in and around the square, whereas every time DCU get a free in that sort of area, they all pop in there. They're going in there now, actually. Adam English has gone in there, and now he's darting into the corner as if to say, put it into the corner for me. But he ignores that and goes for his own score and puts it high into the dark sky here in Dangan and puts it straight over the bar. 3 in a row at the start of the second half for UL.
Yeah, as I said, Colin Coughlin, he's a terrific hurler as well, you know, and look at the way he struck that. It was effortless, and he's 90 yards out there, not a bother in him. So great strike of a ball, a great score, and this game is going well and well away from DCU.
And this could be the fourth, and
I'd say it's wide, is it?
It's gone wide, but I think you put your finger on it there. It's almost as if they're in second gear. I mean, the way that he went to take it there, it was almost nonchalant. He wasn't too bothered, but just a minimum of fuss, and they just do their job, and they do it really, really well, UL. And they're putting pressure on DCU every time they try to go out. This has been one of the features of the game, and they've turned it over. To be fair, good pressure from DCU there as well, and it's Jeremy O'Leary, number 15, getting stuck in there, and he's getting plenty of help as well, and Paul Dolan is in there, and Faker Fitzpatrick is in there, and they're battling, and this is much better from DCU, and Joe Flanagan, and he breaks clear, and after all that, he looked like he was wrecked just trying to get through, and he hadn't enough left to get the score, and it goes to the right and it goes wide, and UL are going to come right back at them. This is Coughlin, who's been so impressive. Off he comes. Little bit of room, all the time in the world, but he's actually hit that to the right. That's going to go wide.
No, it's just petering out a little bit now, and you know, I suppose UL don't seem to be under as much pressure to make the right decision. Like, I think if the scores had been level or close, Colin Coughlin isn't going to be shooting from out there, you know. But
as well taken by Jeremy Clerkin, I think it is, the number 6 for DCU over on that far side, and he's making some progress, and he's been fouled as well, and the DCU supporters on the hill enjoy that one, and they've got a free in. Haven't scored yet in the second half, but you can imagine that they will from this.
They'll be going well, Jerome, by the time they get back up to Coppers tonight. I said they'll never see the inside of it.
I don't think they'll have a cup with them though.
No.
But they're certainly enjoying the journey down here on their night, and why not? Now, can they get their first score of the second half? They have. You hear the cheer go up. DCU on the board in the second half. Started a sing-song as well.
It doesn't say much, Jerome, when we're talking about the level of sing-songs that's coming out of the DCU camp.
That's true. This is better from DCU though.
Another foul. Look, they're showing a bit of bite and they're showing a bit of spirit anyway, and that's, you know, it'd be terrible to get to a final and lie down and get ran out over, so at least they're showing a bit of guts.
Well, they definitely do that. You can't fault them.
But as I said, like, if you look around the pitch there now with the UL forwards, they're very static. They're very... It's kind of almost as if they've accepted their fate in terms of victory, you know, which is a pity. A DCU goal or two now would be... spice things up a bit.
A point will maybe do for now if that's on target, but it's gone to the right and it's gone wide. And UL very quick, but that could be intercepted. He tried to do a UL on UL, but it didn't work, and instead Conor O'Dwyer dealt with the situation. And look at the speed when they go forward. They're so impressive. What a brilliant run as well. Oh, and there's a challenge coming in from Jeremy Clerkin. That certainly put an end to that. And O'Leary comes in and clears as well. And I think you mentioned the word bite, Joe, and that certainly was biting.
Well, I'd be very much pro that kind of stuff, but I'm surprised the referee let it go. And Conor Cadell's head was nearly put in through the commentary here, but yeah, you know, it's no harm hardening into him, but all a bit too little, too late, I think, from that perspective. On the far side now. We'll see if UL can make anything out of this. Plenty of time. It's a free in, pulling the hurl back.
I'd imagine they'll be lining up a few subs to come on now. This is the sort of time in the game. You're a coach yourself, Joe. You would know this is a time when you got to give boys games as well. Game time.
Depends who you're playing, Jerome.
Yeah, I know, but if
you're up against a team you don't like, you'd leave the foot down and go for goal. I know. There'd be no harm to. As I said, they're not weakening their team by bringing on anyone UL anyway. You know,
well, look at they have. I mean, they've Owen Killeen from Gort, the Colm O'Mara from Clare, Conor Hegarty Clare, Luke Shanahan Tip, Stephen Ferncombe from Tip, Oisin Slevin from Ardrahan, Barry Duff from Limerick, Brian O'Mara from Limerick, Conor Butler from Oranmore, Ronan Lyons from Limerick, Chris Thomas from Doon and Limerick, same club as Adam English, Oran Cahill from Clare, Mark Fitzgerald from Passage, Conor Slattery from Galway, Liam Lynch from Limerick. So they have another team there.
Yeah. And on to the team there now, who's came number 27, I think.
First substitution then.
Very well.
And that's Crotty, the captain.
17 is on for...
17 is on. I'll pick that up in a minute, but let's get back with the play, because DCU are trying to get that goal that Joe was talking about. Can they get through for it? And it was Neil Clerkin trying to get through, but he ran into a wall. Now the wall has fallen, but the wall stopped him.
Yeah. As I said in the first half, you know, it's a good foul to give away. It stopped the goal threat, so they'll be happy enough with that. It's actually Conor O'Mara who's on for UL. I think he's gone on instead.
Yeah, Colm O'Mara from Clare is on, number 17 for UL. Any idea who he went off for?
I think it's Conor Cadell he's after coming on for.
Conor Cadell, midfielder, yeah.
He took that big hit there a few minutes ago as well. So,
and talking of hits, this fella ain't getting up quickly. Took one for the team there, but it was a painful one. And to be fair to DCU,
Conor O'Dwyer that took the hit from Cashel and Tip as well. So
it is, yeah.
If he's playing hurling down and Tip, he'll be well used to getting hit, so he'll get on with it.
Now, what's that supposed to mean?
Everyone knows what that means, Jerome. Good hardy.
It's actually Michael Corcoran, is it not?
Where's he from as well?
He's Tip man. He's Silver Mines as well, but same idea.
Same idea.
Same stock. Dennis Walsh, not tempted to go for goal, just takes his point. 2 points in the second half for DCU. And, you know, they did what you were saying, you know, straight at them, straight up the middle there as well, and tried to make something happen. Now, they just didn't get anywhere near the goal area.
Well, look at what they've done so far hasn't worked, so they need to be a bit more direct, you know, and throw a bit of caution to the wind.
Yeah.
Let's see what will happen up this side now.
Once again, a diagonal ball from UL up in from the right half back to the left corner position.
Oh.
And there is a chance here. Now it's Crotty who's got it, and he's going to pop that one over, I'd imagine, with ease. And he was just in the right position off the shoulder. They all seem to know their game very, very well. Yeah, and
the pass came there from another sub for UL, Conor Hegarty from Clare. He's the Killamona man.
And there's another sub going in for DCU. Number 18 is it Eli Cullen from Ballygunner. He's going in, and he's just given his note to the referee. So he is going in for DCU. So it's not just UL ringing the changes. And the man coming off for DCU is Neil Clerkin from Oliver Plunkett's in Dublin.
If you keep a close eye on this 18 Conor Hegarty from Clare, he'd make his place on any team in around the country. So it'll be interesting to see what he'll do for the next 20 minutes or so.
Do you know what it reminds me of? And I'm keeping an eye on the game here while I'm talking, as DCU tried to clear. In fact, they'll do that first. Paul Dolan puts it down the throat, but straight into the hand of the UL defence there. And this is Carl O'Neill. He's been very accurate, but that one not so much. But yeah, it reminds me, years ago DCU actually played at Pierce Stadium up the road from here in a Sigerson final, and with 10 minutes to go they were hammering Maynooth, and they brought on Michael Murphy, who a few months earlier had lifted the Sam Maguire with Donegal. They have that sort of strength and depth, but it's DCU on the other end of that this time. This is good running by Dennis Walsh, the Kilkenny man. He leaves it off as well to Joe Flanagan. What can he do? They'd love a wee goal here just to liven things up a little bit, and that's not that far away, but good defending this time, and they didn't resort to the previous tactic of just trying to take them out as they went through there, but they didn't have to.
No, it was a good run, but fortunately he kicked it and just went harmlessly wide.
Oh, brilliant catch. Not under a lot of pressure, but still, good catch, and it's a guy who has come in. It's Colm O'Mara. Goalkeeper dealt with it. Crotty, the captain, is under it as UL press again. Nice little bit of skill and an effort off the left side, but the body language suggests that is going wide, and indeed it has gone wide.
Well wide, yeah. That was Cathal O'Neill again on the ball, but he's shown lots of a wide array of tricks and stuff, but he'll be disappointed with that wide.
An exhibition of wides, yeah.
An exhibition of wides.
Now DCU, that's gone long, it's gone high, but the goalkeeper, no problem at all to Stephen O'Halloran. They've just so much time in the ball now. As I say, that one is spilled. The DCU subs very close to that one. Players going over the side. The ball though, where's it going? It's going over the bar.
That's a brilliant score for DCU. Brilliant score, but I thought Colin Coughlin was fouled in the build up to it, but you know what? They're fair enough ahead. That's the breaks you get. Here's Conor Haggerty now.
Oh, brilliant catch.
This guy is serious footwork.
He came on a few minutes ago and he's popped that straight over. Conor Haggerty, indeed. You told me to watch out for him, and I can see why.
I don't care who you will have. I couldn't understand how he wasn't starting for them. You know, he's that good, but he's plenty of years of hurling left. It's given hurling left in him. So
17 for DCU is in. That's Evan Dowling from Lucan Sarsfields in Dublin is coming into the play and trying to see who's going off. I think they're restructuring a little bit. In fact, he's gone into the left corner of the attack and he's getting to know his opposite number. Let's put it like that. Off the camera there, they went and had not quite a handshake, shall we say, but got to know each other, and that's nicely taken. It could be a score here for DCU. No, he's not happy with it. He knew right away he hadn't connected well there, Owen O'Connor, and it's gone wide. UL very quick actually when they get these puck outs, and look, serious pressure, but they dealt with it almost nonchalantly.
That's a great score.
And he's put it over.
That's a substitute on again. That's 17, so they've a couple of scores got from their subs already. Colin O'Mara, I think, is it? Yep.
I feel for DCU now because they've struggled against the starting 15, and now UL are bringing on guys and they seem to be even better, or maybe they're just fresher.
Yeah, as I said, it's a pity that the game has slightly petered out a little bit. You know, that's what UL are in such control from early in the game that it's been like that. But look, as I said, they've done that to everyone this year, so it's no big shame from DCU perspective.
DCU,
Ooh.
no shame at all, and they are certainly not to be faulted for commitment. They're going for it. They are doing their very, very best. They're just coming up against a machine.
Look at this.
And there is a classic example of it. How do you stop that? What a run there by Colin Coughlin. He's been one of the stars of the game. Gives it to his captain. He's brought down Shirley, and the referee, I think, is coming up to give a free in there. But the power of the running there is so impressive.
I mean, it's difficult enough with the way the game is going until you see Shergar Rebarn running up the middle of the park, and nothing stopping him. So, but geez, he's a real powerful hurler.
I was thinking Forrest Gump myself.
Forrest Gump, I don't think Forrest Gump had quads and hamstrings like that lad has, but
he was a decent hurler though here, you know.
Gump?
Yeah.
Where was he? Up your way?
What was it he said? Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get.
Padder, your cameraman, was saying something similar to me off air earlier, but
now, don't say anything bad about Forrest Gump.
Or Padder.
Or Padder. One and the same, really.
That's another handy score, and it comes from the full forward there for UL again.
Aidan O'Connor. DCU play been held up a little bit. Was there a card shown there? I think there was actually. Referee Shane Guinan just keeping on top of everything. DCU reverting to the short puck outs, but pressure again being applied, and the goalkeeper is going to come out and offer to take this. Yeah, and they're going to leave it for him this time. So I would imagine this will be landed on the edge of the square.
Yep.
No, it's actually gone into the right corner and spills over the sideline, and it's going to be a UL ball. It's getting to that stage, Joe. I know it might be a little bit early, but we'll take contenders for player of the match. So if anybody is watching on Facebook and wants to pick a player and leave a message there and say who you think is your contender for player of the match. I'll not quiz Joe on it just yet. We're slightly early for that, a bit premature, but by all means, I know there'll obviously be lads like this, so cool on the ball and so strong, but not so accurate on that occasion.
He isn't doing himself any favours there, Jerome. Right
no.
on cue.
Yeah, scrub him off.
There's a man from Clarecastle at home, Packy Healy. He'd be a big, proud Clarecastle man, and he's after saying that the Scariff man outside there, Patrick Crotty, is some yoke, was his exact description of him. So for a Clarecastle man to be speaking about any other man in Clare in high regard says a fair lot about him. So he must be good for something.
Some yoke.
Some yoke.
That's a compliment.
Like what you'd get in an egg, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of yokes out there, really, really good players. But how do you pick like one from them? I mean, and as you said, I mean, they started the game really well and they've shown great skill throughout the game, but you'd almost like to have seen them really, really having to go for it, to see them stepping up through the gears, because there's more in these lads. There really is. And
it's hard. It's hard from UL too, Jerome, when you're cruising through a game to have to lift it when you know, I suppose when you don't have to lift it. So it's a pity we didn't get to see the full package of UL so far. But look, at the bit that we have seen, they're class beyond everything else. And you have to remember, this is the final, so this is the second best team they're playing here today, and they're making mincemeat of them. It's
frightening, really, the power and the quality there, and it makes you think about the future and what's going to come through there.
What would you call that, Jerome? Another exhibition type wide?
That was a fantastic wide, yeah.
It was about 14 foot wide.
Oh, hold on. Here's a great ball. Right down near us. Joe was nearly going to catch that there. I'd have gone for it, but I wouldn't have caught it, and neither of DCU. And were we looking at a few more substitutions? I think we are. But yeah, what does it say, Joe, about the future of the talent is like this at this level? And you're saying it's one of the best ever fresher teams that you have seen. It says a lot about the future, because there's a lot of lads out there from, well, they're spread over, you know, your Galway, Tipperary, Limerick, Clare.
Yeah, well, it says a lot, but I'm just watching Conor Hagerty there.
Has he got it? Did he keep it in? I think he did, you know. I thought the ball was going to beat him, but he was faster than the ball, and there's not many players you can say that about. That's a super effort. Has it gone over? No, it's gone to the left. And UL, he seemed to be quickest onto it. He's trying to get inside. He wants a goal, and he bats it down, but he doesn't get a connection on it.
No, it's well tidied up. Look at what it says, Jerome. I suppose back to your last point, while DCU try and clear their lines here.
They are. Joe Flanagan is all the way back there, but if you make one mistake, there's so much pressure on you, but he does get us free.
Yeah, look, UL they're a serious force, and they've always been a serious force, and they've had many a good fresher team, but these boys are going to add an awful lot to they're already Fitzgibbon All-Ireland champions, so imagine you're going to add 7 or 8 or 9 of these lads into it next year. Like, you'd have to make them favourites again for the competition before the off. But yeah, look, they have a big pick, big facilities, so they generally produce big teams, and that's a big score from the centre forward for DCU. But
yeah, that was well worked. The dubs there. Owen O'Connor was involved from Fingalians, and Joe Flanagan from Naomh Barrog finished it off. That was a good score.
Joe Flanagan, in fairness to him, he's been one of the standout players for DCU. I thought he's battled away and kept a good fight going when it's not been easy, you know. So fair play to him.
I think UL are taking off Conor Cadell, or was he already off? That looks like an 8 on his back, but it could well be wrong. Yeah, he's definitely gone off if it was him, but I think he said he went off already. Anyway.
Maybe he went off twice.
It's my eyesight. I just can't see those numbers on the back of the UL jerseys.
It's not easy, in fairness. Now, it's a chance of a score here again.
And it's Flanagan again. He decides to come inside. Nice footwork, nice skill as well, but not a nice finish. He did it all right and created room for himself for a change, because there's not been much room out there tonight. O'Halloran. Now, Joe could nearly catch this one, Joe. Where you go? No, instead it's Crotty. It's that man. He's some yoke, but
he's some yoke.
Oh, hold on. It's not a wide, you know, it's a pass. There's still a goal chance here. DCU might be able to clear it though, because Fitzpatrick is there. Gives it to Dolan.
There's a few questionable hand passes in there too, apparently.
Oh. And it's Flanagan again.
Good block down. And
the stick is broken there from the number 20. Stephen Ferncombe from Tipperary came in there, made the block, but has ended up looking for a new stick. Do you call it a stick or a hurl down here?
Hurl, I suppose, yeah.
It's a hurl. There's places, especially up in North Antrim, you get called a stick. No. Or you might get stick for calling it a hurl. Free out for UL. So I think it's nearly time to talk about contenders, Joe, if you had to think about that.
I've had plenty of time to think about that, Jerome, yeah. We'll watch this play out.
We'll come to you in a second, actually, because DCU are on the ball here, and there's a little bit of room here for Flanagan once again. Comes into that right-hand side. He's showing some nice skill there, as you said. He's certainly worth a mention. He's not going to be player of the match, but he's certainly been one of the best performers for his team, and so is Fitzpatrick, and he's driving forward now. They must have heard us and thought, we'll put in a wee effort here to get player of the match, but that's not going to help. But yeah, your contenders, Joe.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely, Joe Flanagan has been very strong, and I think Dennis Walsh, hurled quite well. Took a lot of his frees from a DCU side. Looking from UL, there's a lot of lads that probably have underperformed. Patrick Crotty battled well for Clare, he had a good few wides, but he got on an awful lot of ball. Adam English was fairly clinical on the ball, as was Aidan O'Connor, Cathal O'Neill as well. But I think, for me, their six backs were excellent today for UL, but I just think he's had a few wides as well. But Colin Coughlin from Ballybrown in Limerick would be my man of the match today. He's been head and shoulders physically above a lot of people, and he's hurled some amount of ball. As I said, a few wides, but a class act and a serious hurler in the future for Limerick. So it'll be Colin Coughlin for me.
Yeah, as you say, he's very imposing. He's a big fella. He's a unit, isn't he? And you dread to think of what he's going to be like in years to come.
Yeah, well, once he stays as he's
Crotty
going.
again. He's maybe putting in a little bit of late effort to try and get player of the match. No, he's gone wide again. He's had a catalogue of exhibition wides.
He's had a gear bag full of them, yeah.
He has.
Yeah.
19 coming on for DCU. That's Owen Crowley. Kilkenny man coming in, and UL have been firing on a lot of subs there in the last few minutes. I haven't been able to pick them all up, but I'll give them a mention if I can figure out what numbers they are. They're
That's
over
the only way they
side.
could lose it from here, Jerome, if they bring on too many of them, maybe.
Or if they just bring about 3 men off. But even then, I think they'd still be okay here.
I know they've been.
But the important thing is, as I say, it's been such an exhibition. I mean, they're just to me, I've just been astounded by the quality and the standards of these UL guys. They really are good. And as you say, player of the match for you, Colin Coughlin, number 5. He's way over on the right here on his own, and somebody's coming over to mark him, and he looks half the size of him. He's a mountain.
If I was him, I'd go into the dressing room now rather than go over marking him this stage of the day.
When I say marking him, he's running over near him. The only thing that UL haven't really done has been really clinical, and I know they haven't been, but they haven't gone for goals.
No, they've been very wasted.
They haven't needed to.
They've probably had about 14 or 15 wides, and they've probably dropped 8 or 9 short, but they haven't needed to.
This is the sub who came on. This is Dowling, who's doing well for DCU, and they've got an effort away, but it's off target, and it's going to be taken by the goalkeeper O'Halloran now. He has a little bit of company there from Walsh, but he gets his free.
Yeah, the DCU faithful aren't happy with that, but to be fair, that's like something you see around Lansdowne now rather than around Dangan. But
these D4 types coming down here to Dangan. Yeah. How did they even find the place?
Drinking our beer and taking our women. Here we go.
They make it through for a goal now. No, the way is.
In fairness, now I think the ref has called that right. He slapped back with the hurl there as he got inside. It was a nasty enough little flick, so he's probably going to get into the book for this one.
Good crowd watching the game on YouTube as the yellow card is shown. Gerard Howley says Crotty playing well, and Jeffrey Thompson saying watching from the UK, was in Dublin at the weekend.
Ask him, was there much crack in Dublin the weekend?
Well, he seems to have enjoyed himself. I'm not sure he's got a comment about hurling as such. He just seems to enjoy the crack here, which is fine.
Maybe,
Well, can't argue with that.
Free in
For DCU.
Any more crack from anyone?
Well, now I'm hiding these from you because a lot of the YouTube comments, we don't really want to go there. I mean, a minute ago you were talking about women and people taking women and stuff, and I'm not sure.
I was just from Braveheart.
No, they're sort of having a conversation amongst themselves, these lads. Yeah, no, I don't think. Hold on. There's a comment there about eggs, and you started that.
Sure, I had to say something
about yolks. And there's somebody watching in the USA on their computer. He says
yolk is the inside of an egg, if he's wondering.
He says thanks to God for the GEA. Basically, I think that's what he's saying. Yeah, there's somebody not happy with me for calling a stick a hurl, that's for sure. Anyway, I knew I'd get into bother for that one.
You can't win, Jerome, in this life.
It's not about winning.
No.
It's about taking part. It's a journey, isn't it?
It is.
Now,
You well are on the journey now, the last leg of it.
is he? Oh, that could be nice. That'd be a nice way to finish, but it's gone.
Oh, I'd say it's in.
Is he going to go for it? Is he going to give it? No. There's usually a scoreboard here in this ground down to the left, and I saw a man there. I thought he was looking for it, but there is none.
They have a castle down there, Jerome, that's all.
They've Menlo Castle across the River Corrib there. You know that is the River Corrib, yeah. You're from this neck of the world.
I've been around here a while, yeah.
And you know where it comes from, the river? It's one of the shortest rivers in Europe. I knew I'd throw this in if we're really struggling here tonight. I knew I'd give this. The River Corrib, it's one of the shortest rivers in Europe. Isn't that interesting?
And where does it come from, so?
Well, it comes from the Loch Corrib.
Okay.
It's about 6 kilometres from the Loch Corrib. It makes sense. What does the word Corrib mean?
Boat or something.
I think it's a potato or something. You know?
Is it?
Something like that, yeah.
You wouldn't want to mix them up?
No. I was really doing a wee bit of research and thinking I'll be last resort stuff if I have to start giving this sort of information in. But you never know.
I think we've hit it, though. We've hit the last resort at this stage. There surely couldn't be much more.
Look, years ago when cricket commentary on Radio 4 was it back in the day, used to be famous for, they were talking about cakes that were coming in and anything except the cricket, but slightly slower game than this.
Well, the rigor mortis is beginning to set into me now soon, so he'd want to call it a day.
We're near the end, and Michael Hyland is on his way with the John Corcoran Cup. They're going to present that. We're going to have that on here.
We're going to go along?
A few minutes' time, I would imagine, because we're not far from the end. Crowd keeping warm anyway.
Well out.
On the far side, there's still a bit of cheering going over there. They're enjoying it.
Game
and there
over.
is the full-time whistle. The game is over. The Electric Ireland Higher Education Freshers Hurling Division 1 final has ended in victory for UL, as we did anticipate, to be fair. But it was an entertaining night and a lovely night here, if a cold night, in Dangan by the River Corrib, and we have enjoyed it. We hope you have enjoyed the live stream as well. We are picking our player of the match, well, Joe's player of the match, as Colin Coughlin, but I would never disagree with Joe, so I'm going with that as well. From Ballybrown in Limerick, but it's been just, I think the story tonight, Joe, has been an exhibition.
Yeah, it was parts of the game were good and competitive, but the game for the most part was a bit like a challenge game in the sense that UL were able to kind of do what they wanted to do without being under any massive pressure, and DCU were just chasing shadows. But DCU UL would be delighted to get the win. They're obviously the strongest team in the competition by far, and God help the Fitzgibbon Cup in the next couple of years with what UL have ahead. So fair play to them and hard luck to DCU. They battled away to the end. So
you think that this team will go through and make UL even stronger?
Yeah.
At Fitzgibbon level.
But look, it's up to everyone else to get up to a par. They mightn't have the players that UL will have, but you know, you have to try and match them with work rate and intensity first, and then hope for the best after that. But even physically looking out at them now, like DCU are inferior to UL. They're big men, some of them UL guys, you know. But I suppose that benefit of being in
committee is out there somewhere in the middle, and hopefully he has a wee cup with him as well.
He might be over at the DCU crowd, is he?
No, I gather he only arrived in the last 20 minutes or so, he definitely didn't come down on the bus with them. He's come down on his own, and I see him now. Here he is in front of us here, so I'm going to have a word with him here. I'm going to ask him to bring everybody over to see if we can have the presentation onto the camera. So if you can talk to yourself there for a minute, Joe.
Talk away, no problem. Jerome is just over here talking shop. The presentation will be underway now in a couple of minutes' time. UL lads are all embracing themselves and looking forward to a big night out down in Limerick. I'm sure they'll be inside around the Icon and Angel Lane, rocking it out.
Do you know, I've just realised that was probably dangerous for me to leave you talking to yourself and me not knowing what you're
Jerome
saying.
doesn't know what I was saying. No, it's fine. I was very above board. But,
Good. Well,
look at, I suppose, what can you say really about DCU? As we said before the game, they came through a lot of hard struggles in the year, so they'll be proud of their efforts, and they're rightly so. But you know, there was only one team in this competition this year, and they've strolled through it. Did we get a final score on it, Jerome?
No idea. It was a lot against not so much.
That's it. Sounds about
Down
right.
the years, though, Joe, you were putting it into context before the game and saying you thought it was one of the best Freshers teams that you've seen. After what you've seen tonight, have they backed that up?
No.
So you're not that impressed?
They didn't have to, because you can't judge them on this, because it was so straightforward for them.
Oh, we do have the score. Dave's come out to give us a score. It was 120 to not 11, which isn't...
It's not that bad, no.
Yeah, I mean, they scored 632 or something in one of their games.
Yeah, but as I said, look, if you look at the possessions they wasted...
I was expecting like 5 or 6 goals. They certainly didn't turn it on.
No. But they done more than enough.
Now on Facebook, Megan Kerry agrees with you for player of the match. She's
Thanks,
gone
Megan.
for Colin Coughlin. Patrick Fitzgerald doesn't agree with you. He's given it Eli Cullen. I think that's tongue in cheek. I think he only came on for the last 10 minutes. Now down in front of us here, a young chap is looking like he might steal the cup.
Go on away with it.
Sorry, mate. Sorry, you have to leave that there. The player is in the blue coat. He is the chairperson of the Higher Education GEA committee, and he has brought Patrick Crotty, the captain, coming over, and he will collect the John Corcoran Cup in a minute. We'll have a few speeches, and you'll see it all very nicely here now on the camera. Patrick Crotty from Scariff in Clare starts senior for the county, Patrick. And he put on a bit of an exhibition tonight. I know he could have been a little bit more impressive, but they done all they needed to do. And Michael preparing now to say a few words, and he will thank, I'm sure, Dangan, and he'll thank the sponsors, Electric Ireland, and then there'll be the Player of the Match award, and he has the Player of the Match award in his arms there. And I'm not sure you're actually going to hear what he says. In fact, I can't really hear what he's saying, so you're not going to pick it up, but he is bringing out the Player of the Match, and it's Aidan O'Connor from Ballybrown in Limerick. And Joe, you were given Player of the Match to another guy from the same club.
Yeah, but sure, look, at least it's gone home with the one care in it.
It's gone to the right club. It's gone to Ballybrown. It was one or the other. Colin Coughlin or Aidan O'Connor, but it was O'Connor who got it. And Michael saying a few words, I imagine, to thank the officials as well, and thank God as well for not letting the rain influence the proceedings here tonight, for holding off. He might also put in a word, because I think somebody's turning lights out.
Michael
We don't want that to happen.
They don't want to spend too much money either at the same time. Like, they've given us the game, that's enough.
We've still enough light here. He's about to hand the trophy, and as I mentioned before, the cup is named after the great UCC Cork legend John Corcoran, who sadly passed away in January 2016. And he loved his hurling, he loved his colleges. He didn't talk about UCC, he talked about the college. And he's a great loss to higher education, GEA, and to the GEA in general, especially in Cork. And they very aptly named this cup after him, and he would have loved the exhibition that he's seen tonight, and the quality out there, the standard of hurling. He was involved with football with Billy Morgan and the Sigerson Winds, but he loved his hurling as well. And more than anything, he'd love to see the young lads coming through and performing on the big stage. And tonight was certainly a great performance by UL and by their captain, Patrick Crotty. Player of the match was Aidan O'Connor. The winning captain is Patrick Crotty, and he raises the John Corcoran Cup into the cool Dangan skies here after a great night. I can just hear what the Clare man is saying, and he's thanking DCU for really putting it up to them tonight and keeping going right to the end, which is exactly what they did. He's thanking his own team. And he's thanking NUAG for the facilities here, neutral venue. Now he's thanking the management. And that's all the talking done. All remains is to bring the cup back to UL. It's been an enjoyable night here. My thanks to Joe McKeown for coming along as well and helping us out with the commentary. Joe, thanks very much.
No problem, my pleasure.
And Joe hasn't too far to go. He lives quite near here, but we've a long way to from the entire live stream team here. It is indeed Goodbye.